Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back to the course on Geographic Information System. So, this is module 11 GIS as a software, and in this hands-on session we are going to look at the introduction to R software. The concept covered in these sessions are introduction to R and how to download and install R software, and we will see the R interface and different data types in R and basic functionalities which can be performed using R software. So, when we see R, so R is a software, it is a research or a development environment rather than just a programming language. So, it is a handy and popular tool for statistical computation and to analyze data and creating graphs and charts. The popularity of R among data scientists and researchers is because of its ease of learning, availability of different packages and compatibility across various platforms. So, R can be used in Windows system or Mac system or Linux system as well, and also it is a open source and free software, so that can be downloaded and installed without paying for it, and it can be redistributed or it can be used for commercial and research purposes without really paying for it. So, with this introduction we will directly jump to how to install R software. So, let us go to the website from which we can download R software. So, this is the website with which we can download R and R Studio. So, please make a note that we need to download two softwares, one is R and one more is R Studio. R Studio is an extension to R which provides more sophisticated functionalities similar to R. So, if you type R software download as a Google search, so the first link cran.rproject.org, if you go to this particular website, so the first option which gives R download R 3.6.1, the latest version for Windows. So, we will see how to install and use R for Windows version, so which is similar the functionality is similar to any other operating system also. So, if you click this particular link R software will get downloaded. So, it is just .exe file, it is having somewhere around 80 MB, so it will get downloaded to your system. Similarly, what you need to use in this particular session is also a software called R Studio. So, if you search R Studio software as a download in Google search, the R Studio website will get open. Here you need to come down, and there is a free version available for R Studio desktop. So, if you click on download and download R Studio for Windows, so it will get so R Studio will also have an .exe file. So, this is around 140 MB. These two files you need to download and keep it, and finally needs to be installed to start using R software for this particular session. So, what currently I have done, I have downloaded all these things and kept already installed in my system. So, I will stop these processes and directly jump to R software. So, these two are the links with which we can download R software. So, how to go to R software? If you go to Windows and search as R Studio, so R Studio link will appear. So, if you just click on that, R Studio will get open. So, this is the basic interface of R. So, if you go to file and new file, and you can say as R script, so R script will page get opened. So, this is the page in which we can start writing the R codes, and right side you can see there is an environment, history and connections. Here all the data set which we loaded to our environment will get displayed. At the right bottom, this is the area where we can search for particular tool to get help, or we can see different packages installed in R, or if we can see different plots and charts which can be generated from the R can be seen here, and also we can establish a connection to the R software using here. So this is the basic console. We will go back to slides and try to understand the processes. So this is the code editor as I have shown you in R software, and at the right top, as the left top and right top is the workspace and the history. Left side we can see R console, and right bottom we can see plots and files. So now we will try to understand different data types and objects which are present in the R. First one is object classes. So R has 5 object classes. One is character, numeric, integer and complex and logical. So we will try to see one by one, and next is vectors and lists, and finally matrix and data frames. So how to create these things, we will go and see in R software. We will go to R Studio now. So here let us try to create one object class. For example, x is equal to 52 is a number, and we will, so how to run this? So once you type any code in R, you just need to click on run to run our software. So now the value of 52 is assigned to x now. So a variable called x is assigned by a number 52. Let us try to see its class. If you type class and x and run it, so it says it's a numeric. So 52 is a number, so R has a data type as a numeric. So similarly we will see y is equal to IIT Kharagpur and run it. So how do we run? So we can run using the run button, or we can use keyboard shortcut Control and enter. So make sure that your cursor is in that particular line. For example, if I am running y is equal to IIT Kharagpur, so that cursor need to be in that particular line to run, and then use Control enter. So once you do control enter, that particular code will get run, and that is visible in the console. So if the console shows the next arrow button, that means the previous command has run properly. So at the right top you can see IIT Kharagpur, a value is assigned to y. So if you want to check that in console, you can go to console and press y and run it. So IIT Kharagpur, a string value is assigned to y. So let us try to see what is its class. Class of y, and Control enter, that is a shortcut to run this particular line. When you run this, it says a character. So previously x was a numeric, and now y is a character. Similarly we can do different data types such as complex number or integer, floating points number, etc. This is how we can create a class in R. So next we will try to create a vector in R. So how to do that? A vector is equal to, this is a, I will just name as vector example is equal to, note that we can use either this symbol or we can use equal. Both of these symbol are one and the same, though both of them mean is equal to. A vector is equal to, we need to use a command C to create a vector. So I will create a numeric vector now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how we can create a numeric vector and control run. So now a vector has been created. So we can see its class, type class, vector example. Here we can see the command has been shown. So if you run this and control enter, it says a numeric vector. Similarly we can do a vector with the character vector. Vector character is equal to C. Using C command we can create vector. I can create different colors, maybe red, green, yellow. These 3 colors I will put it into a variable called character colors. and control enter if I do. So a variable called v character color is created here, so that can be visualized in console as well. So if you go to console, we enter character underscore colors, if you type this and enter it, all the values will be visible. Sorry, this should be v. So we can see all the values are visible. So this is how we can create a character vector or a numeric vector. Next we will try to see how to create a matrix. So let us go back to the slides and explore. So if you want to create a matrix, there are multiple options are available to create matrix. First one is to create a vector, and then using a dimension function you can create a matrix. Let us try to create using this. Let us go back to R console. Let us create a vector. Now matrix vector is equal to, a vector can be created using C function. I will create a numeric vector of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and then run. Then we can use dimension of matrix vector should be, I can assign the dimension. So dimension should also be an vector. So we have 3 and 6 elements. Let us have 2 cross 3 a matrix. We can mention the dimension of a matrix. Now a matrix is created. We can go and inspect the matrix vector here. Just copy a matrix and put it into a console and then run it. So we can see a matrix having number of rows 2's and number of column 3's. So this is how we can create a matrix. Similarly, we can create one more data type called data frame. So basically matrix is a arrangement of numbers or characters in terms of rows and columns. So in data frame or in data frame data type in R, so it contains number of rows and columns arranged in Excel like format, so having unique elements in different data types. So for example, in matrix we can store only a single type of data type. For example, we can store only numbers or we can store only integers, but in data frame we can store both together. So that is the advantage of data frame. In R we use data frame very much. So let us try to import an Excel file and then see how data frame can be useful, how we can convert an Excel file into a data frame. So how do we bring the Excel file? Let us go back to the slides and verify the steps. So we can use a function called read.csv to import an Excel file. So for this exercise we have given an Excel file in the data folder that you can see. If you go to R session nptel folder, there is a folder, there is a file called employee.data. So this one we will try to import into R and then inspect how it can be used. So before bringing in the Excel file into database, we will try to see how we can set the directory. So setting directory is important because once we try to open any file, the window will directly go to that particular folder. So that can be done using a command called setwd. Setwd is the command to set the directory. So using setwd and double quotation, so here inside the double quotation we need to mention the path. Go back to the path and copy the path where the file is mentioned, file is kept, and just copy the path to the R console. So here make sure that in Windows system if you use / instead of /, all these slashes need to be / needs to be backward slash need to be changed to forward slash to file setting the directories. So once we have the location in is set properly, then we need to run setwd command. So when we run this, the particular folder is set as a set directory in R. So now we can directly start importing Excel file into the R environment. Let us name the Excel file as employee.data, employee underscore data is equal to read.csv. So when you type read, so it gives a suggestion. So this one can be used, read.csv, and we can so here we can use file.choose command to import the file and then run it. So a window will open, so asking to open the file. So since now we have set the directory to this path, so it is directly opening this particular path. So if you double click on employee data, the employee data is imported into our environment now. So here if you go and see, the employee data is imported into our environment. So let us inspect the same data in Excel as well. In a spreadsheet, the data contains different ranks of the teaching staff and their discipline, years of service, and their gender and the salary. These information are existing in the Excel sheet. So if you want to do any kind of analysis or preparing graphs and charts or prepare any kind of analytics, so that can be, the data can be brought it into our environment using read.csv file. So currently we bought this Excel data into our environment, and we will inspect the data set here. So if you type employee.data at the right side, if you click on employee.data at the right side, the window will open showing the data in Excel format. So right now you can we will try to check what is the class of this employee.data which we created. I'll just copy employee.data and just check class of employee.data and run it. So it says a data frame. So till now we have seen so how to create a numeric class, a character class, a vector class, a matrix, and how to set a path in the directory path in the R environment, and how to create a data frame. So these are all different data types in R, that is basic data types in R which can be which need to be understood for further process in R. So now till now we have created employee.data file. So now we will try to subset the data, how to subset this data for further processing. Suppose, so if I don't want the salary information, if I want till only gender, for example the column number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and for example I need only first 10 rows. So how to subset this data in R? So let us try to subset the data in R. For that we need to use for example I will assign it into a different variable called employee.data underscore subset is equal to, I need to call the previous variable, that is employee.data, and then use square brackets. So here we need to use one comma. So before the comma it meant it is used for filtering the number of rows. After the comma it is used for filtering the number of columns. So I'll just mention number of rows is to rows. This is the syntax for filtering the data. Columns is to columns. For example, in the current data set employee.data, if I want from row number 1 to row number 10, so I can write something like this, 1 is to 10. So that means from row number 1 to row number 10 it will filter out, and then it goes to columns. So if I want columns from first column to column number 5. So this is how we can filter first 10 columns and first 5 rows, first 10 rows and first 5 columns, and then run it. So now employee.data subset has been created. So if you go here and click, we can see only the 10 rows and 5 columns. This is how we can subset the data in R. So similarly, subset can be done on the simple vector as well. Suppose a vector like matrix vector is created, so which is having data from 1 to 6. This also can be subsetted something like this. So we can, for example, we will just try to see how matrix dot vector appears. So if you run matrix dot vector, so if you run vector example, not matrix dot vector, vector example, let us try to create a vector example one more. If you go here and use command C and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So till 6 elements we have created in this vector. So if you go and inspect our vector example, it's a variable, so having the values from 1 to 6. So 1 to 6 are there. If you want to subset this to only 1, 2, 3, how to do this? So we can give one more as vector example subset, and then using the square bracket 1 to 3 we can do first element to third element and then run it. So now if you check what vector subset contains, is the subset of first vector. So it has 1, 2, 3. So similarly, so if we are having number of rows and columns, we can use this syntax in which row is to rows, column is to columns, row is to rows, comma, column is to columns. And if we have only single vector, we can use from 1 is to 3 or 1 is to n command to subset the data. So next let us try to create a sequence. So how to create a sequence in n? If you want to create a number of elements, for example, if you want to create elements from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, so how to do that? So you can go to R console, let us mention a variable called y is equal to 1 is to 50 and run it. So a variable called y will be saved, so with the value from 1 to 50. So you can see it in console here. If you use y and run, so a value from 1 to 50 is created. So then you can use this particular data for further analysis or for creating this kind of subsets for further analysis as well. And one more thing, important thing here is that, so we can use a question mark and any command. If you want to get the information about the command, you can use question mark, and this command you can type it. For example, if I want to know how read CSV works, write question mark and this command and then run it. So in the right side in the help table, it gives the description about that. So it is coming from the tool called utils. So read dot table. So here, so what are the different variables or parameters can be given to read a CSV file, all these things, and some examples as well also mentioned. So at the bottom, if you come at the bottom, some syntaxes along with the examples how to run read.csv is also mentioned. If you want to know about any details about the commands, so we can use question and that particular command. If you want to use question and C, so this particular command is used to add a vector or a list. This is how you can use the help button in R. So till now we have seen so how to set a directory and how to take help from the console. So in a nutshell, in a nutshell, in this particular session we have seen introduction to R and downloading and installing R and basic R interface and different data types in R. For example, we have seen how to create numerics, how to create character, how to create vectors, how to create data frames, how to bring in data, Excel data to R, and some basic functionalities such as filtering and asking questions or making help, taking helps from R console, and finally we have seen setting working directory as well. So in the next session we are going to look at so how different raster functions or vector functions that is related to GIS can be performed in R. Thank you.